Good morning, everybody. It's Anthony. Monday, May 12th, 2025 at about 9:50 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm out and about running some errands, and I thought I would do a video response. I'll probably end up doing a Bible study or something, or attaching a video or something else to that effect. Received some questions from some subscribers regarding questions about what occurred in the book of Acts. A lot of people are taught that, when you read Acts chapter 10 and 11, they think that, or they're taught that those chapters are where it says food is made clean. In other words, we could eat anything we want. We don't have to, believers don't have to follow the dietary laws that Yah gave to Mosheh. And so they'll use that and other passages of in the New Testament, some of Paul's writings, and they twist them to say, see, here's where we don't have to, we could eat pig, we could eat lobster, we could eat. And they justify that because they're taught incorrectly by the church today. That's on a doctrine that they push, that they learn in seminaries, that's the doctrine that they teach their adherents to. You don't have to do that anymore. That's been done away with, when that's exactly not what happened. If you read the entire book of Acts, number one, you're going to see all the apostles and the early ecclesia, the early believers, all followed the Torah. They went to Shabbat services at the synagogues on the seventh day, not the first day. They followed the dietary regulations, which means they did not eat things that were not considered food, animals that were not considered food. The food that it talks about in the book of Acts is talking about food sacrificed to idols, food strangled with the blood still in it, things of that nature. That was what they were not supposed to have. But as far as eating pig or pork or shellfish or birds of prey or things from Leviticus chapter 11, they still were not doing that. They were not eating that. Peter did not eat a ham sandwich, let's put it that way. His vision in Acts chapter 10 and 11, and if you read the whole thing in context, you'll see that it was about people socializing or sitting or congregating or worshiping next to Gentiles. Like, that's what they were avoiding, and Peter was falling back into that trap, and he was shown by Yah through the vision that, no, I'm bringing Cornelius and his family and the Gentiles. Remember, Cornelius was a Roman captain. He was a Gentile. What Peter's vision was showing was not about making all food clean or all animals clean. It was about bringing in the Gentile nations and them being grafted in and showing Peter they're all one in Messiah. That's what that was about. And the other part in Acts chapter 15 that a lot of people get confused, and you have to go back and look at what was going on at that time. There were Judaizers telling Gentile converts, people coming into the faith, that they had to not only follow the Torah, but they had to follow the heavy burdens hard to bear laws that they made up, the doctrines of men, the washing of hands, the washing of cups, all that kind of thing, all those laws, those were the heavy burdens hard to bear. And so the apostles got together and they had this, and they said, okay, these are Gentile converts. They're already, we don't have to subject them to circumcision and to eat meat strangled with the blood still in it. But those people were still, those new converts were still going to the synagogues on the Sabbath. They were still following the feasts. They weren't the apostles and early ecclesia was not eliminating that. They met to discuss certain things that they didn't want to put heavy burdens on these new converts. It wasn't telling them they could do whatever they want and didn't have to obey the Torah. They were taking baby steps. It's what I said, and I'll say this in closing here. People ask me, what should I do, Anthony? I'm coming out of churchianity, let's call it. What's the first thing I should do? Well, I'll give you from my experience. The first thing I started doing was recognizing the Sabbath. I think that's one of the first things that you should do because it's a weekly thing and it's a 52-week thing where that'll help you go into the other parts of the Torah, like keeping the feasts. Then I would say start with the Passover like we just had. We're coming up into Shavuot or Pentecost in a few weeks. Celebrate the feast. Start learning how to celebrate the feasts, the 7 feasts. Then I would say look at the dietary regulations. It's very easy to do. Just don't eat the foods. Don't eat the animals that are not considered food from Leviticus chapter 11. Okay? Eat clean animals, which are listed there. So start that way. And then realize that Messiah himself didn't follow the whole Torah either, because many of the laws in the Torah didn't apply to him. They were for animals, for women. So not every law he followed because they didn't apply to him. So that's my advice to people. Read the scripture in context and do what it says. And don't listen to people teaching churchianity. They're leading you down the wrong road. Yah bless.